King Charles has given a televised address to the world after death of his beloved mother Queen Elizabeth. In it, he paid an emotional tribute to his darling mama and named his eldest son William, who is the heir to the throne, the new Prince of Wales. "I speak to you today with feelings of profound sorrow," Charles began his address. For more royal family-related news and videos, check out royal family throughout her life. Her Majesty the Queen, my beloved mother, was an inspiration and example to me and all my family. We owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother. For her love, affection, guidance, understanding and example, Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived. Charles said the Queen was mourned most deeply as he renewed the promise of lifelong service she gave herself as young woman when she ascended the throne. Alongside the personal grief all of my family are feeling, we also share with so many of you in the United Kingdom and all the countries where the Queen was head of state, in the Commonwealth and across the world, a deep sense of gratitude for the more than 70 years in which my mother, as Queen, served the people of so many nations, Charles said. In 1947, on her 21st birthday, she pledged in a broadcast from Cape Town to the Commonwealth, to devote her life, whether it be short or long, to the service of her pupils. That was more than a promise. It was a profound, personal commitment which defined her whole life. She made sacrifices for duty. Her dedication and devotion to the sovereign never wavered. Through times of change and progress, through times of joy and celebration, and through times of sadness and loss. In her life of service, we saw that abiding love of tradition, together with that fearless embrace of progress which makes us great as nations. The perfection, admiration and respect she inspired became the hallmark of her reign. As every member of my family can testify, she combined these qualities with warmth, humor and an unerring ability always to see the best in people. I pay tribute to my mother's memory and I honor her life of service. The new king went on to say he shared a sense of loss beyond measure with those across the world. When the Queen came to the throne, Britain and the world was still coping with the privations and aftermath of the Second World War and still living by the conventions of earlier times. In the course of the last 70 years, we have seen our society become one of many cultures and many faiths, he went on. The institutions of the state have changed in turn, but through all changes and challenges, our nation and the wider family of the realms of whose talents, traditions and achievements I am so inexpressibly proud have prospered and flourished. Charles said as values have remained and flourished, the role and duties of monarch also remain. As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation, Charles went on. Wherever you may live in the United Kingdom or in the realms and territories across the world, and whatever may be your background or beliefs, I shall endeavor to serve you with loyalty, respect and love as I have throughout my life. Charles said his life would of course change as he took up new responsibilities, but others would step in to fill those roles. This is also a time of change for my family, he said. I count on the loving help of my darling wife Camilla. In recognition of her own loyal public service, since our marriage 17 years ago, she becomes my queen consort. I know she will bring to the demands of her new role a steadfast devotion to duty, in which I have come to rely so much. Charles then went on to announce that William would receive the title of Prince of Wales. As my heir, William now assumes the Scottish titles which have meant so much to me. He succeeds me as Duke of Cornwall and takes on the responsibilities for the Duchy of Cornwall, which I have undertaken for more than 5 decades. Today, I am proud to create him Prince of Wales, Charles said. The country whose title I have been so greatly privileged to bear during so much of my life and duty. With Catherine beside him, our new Prince and Princess of Wales will, I know, continue to inspire and lead our national conversations, helping to bring to the center ground where vital help can be given. I want also to express my love for Harry and Meghan as they continue to build their lives overseas, the new king said. He ended his address with a message to his mother. In a little over a week's time, we will come together as a nation, as a Commonwealth and indeed, global community to lay my beloved mother to rest. In our sorrow, let us remember and draw strength from the light of her example. On behalf of all of my family, I can only offer the most sincere and heartfelt thanks for your condolences and support," he said. "They mean more to me than I could ever possibly express. To my darling mama, as you begin your last great journey to join my late papa, I want to simply to say this. Thank you. Thank you for your love and devotion to our family and the families and nations you have served so diligently. May flights of angels sing thee to thy rest." Earlier, Charles had appeared emotional as he left Balmoral, where the Queen spent her final days. Britain's new king was accompanied by his wife, Queen Consort Camilla, as they left the Balmoral estate to return to London following the Queen's passing. Charles looked somber in the photos, as he was transported in the back of a black car before boarding a private plane. He had reportedly been by his mother's side as she died on the afternoon of September 8. Reporter Victoria Newton was with Charles on Wednesday, his last working day as the Prince of Wales. Writing in The Sun, she said he wasn't himself. "He looked under strain, like a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders," Newton said. Charles carried a folder under his arm as he arrived at Aberdeen Airport to board a private jet. After arriving back in London as king, Charles was greeted by cheering crowds outside Buckingham Palace, who sang "God Save the King" as he made his first public appearance since ascending the throne. "I said thank you for coming and I'm so sorry, and he said thank you to me," said Denise Bierman, one of those the new king spoke to during his impromptu 10-minute walkabout after stopping his car outside the palace gates. "Then I told Camilla to look after Charles, and she said I'll try. I was amongst the first people to shake the hand of the King of England. I was 2.5 when Elizabeth became queen, and we will never have someone like her again, and I'm 73 now watching her son become king." Charles and Camilla then briefly inspected the mass of flowers left outside the famous black railings, before heading into the palace where the flag of the British sovereign was flown overhead. At one point Charles appeared to wipe tears from his eyes. The death of the Queen, Britain's longest reigning monarch and a towering presence on the world stage for 70 years, has drawn condolences from around the world. Billboards across the London displayed messages of condolence and newspapers ran front-page photo tributes. Buckingham Palace said there would a period of mourning to be observed by members of the family and the royal household until a week after the funeral, the date of which has not yet been confirmed but is expected in about 10 days' time. Charles, who automatically succeeded his mother as king, earlier said the death was a moment of great sadness for himself and his family. "We mourned profoundly the passing of a cherished sovereign and a much-loved mother. I know her loss will be deeply felt throughout the country, the realms and the Commonwealth, and by countless people around the world," the 73-year-old said in a statement shortly after her death. The Queen had been suffering from what Buckingham Palace had called episodic mobility problems since the end of last year, forcing her to withdraw from nearly all her public engagements. Her last public duty came only on Tuesday, when she appointed Truss Prime Minister, the 15th of her reign. "The death of Her Majesty the Queen is a huge shock to the nation and to the world," Truss said outside her Downing Street office where the flag, like those at royal palaces and government buildings across Britain, was lowered. "Through thick and thin, Queen Elizabeth II provided us with the stability and the strength that we needed. She was the very spirit of Great Britain, and that spirit will endure." And finally, thank you all for watching the video. Please like and comment your opinion so we can discuss together. Don't forget to subscribe, press the bell to follow and update many other interesting news. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.